I am always privileged when I get the chance to interview not only great judoka but also great friends. And I am very glad to have Udo Quellmaz with me. Udo, welcome.
I'm very happy to be here.
Udo Quellmaz, Olympic champion, two-time world champion, world silver medalist. He was in 3 world finals, and it was that close to becoming 3-time world champion. But he was 2-time world champion, which was amazing, Olympic champion as well. But not only that, he has quite a lot of history, which I find incredibly interesting. We were talking about it at breakfast today, and we were just talking about old times. Now, we've known each other a long time, haven't we? The very first time that I remember you was, well, I'm going to let you tell me exactly when that was.
Well, I still remember, it is a long time ago, 1985. I was still junior, and I was fighting the Senior German Open, and I fought for bronze. One of the British guys, Steve Gawthorpe, very strong guy in Nevaza, and you were in the chair as a coach. I won the fight. It was a very tough fight, and after the fight you told me, good job. And I thought, wow, the big Neil Adams talks to me, was sort of, yeah, that was our first time where we met.
Well, it was a great job, and I remember watching that match thinking, something special here is going to happen, and without a doubt, you know, I like to be able to read people, and I read that situation as you going to do something absolutely brilliant, because I know Stevie Gawthorpe, and you're very good friends with him right now as well. You've become really good friends, but I mean, he was a groundwork specialist. He was crazy down on the ground always, and I remember you climbing off about 35 different jujigatamis and still getting up there and still managing to beat him.
I think I made the mistake. I did a score in the first minute, and then he chased me all the fight, and I really struggled to survive.
Yeah, but you struggled, but you were a junior coming through, and Stevie was established. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, I know that you came through the East German system, and when did you know? I mean, first of all, when that East German system was going to come to an end?
Well, easy question. I did not know actually when it comes to end. It was all a little bit surprise, but I remember to be in this very special venue, fighting as a 20-year-old, 1987 Shiriki Cup with a former East German team, or precisely called German Democratic Republic. And for me, it was inspiration to fight here. And yes, nobody knew really what's going to happen at the time.
Udo, it was different then, and I've asked you before on many occasions how the training was for you and how it differed from when you became a unified German team. So just give us an insight on that.
Well, I have to say, looking back, it was very tough training. I was born in Leipzig, grew up in Leipzig, and it was a judo center there. It was make it or break it, very tough training. If you ask any question or any champions, they will tell you don't like all the time the training. Sometimes it's tough. You have to go to your limits and even over your limits. And yes, but for me it's clear that was the basis for my later success.
And you said to me as well that you felt that it was a system that was good for you. And in what way?
Well, it was a very structured program. We had really tough training group. And yes, thanking now all the guys who were with me at the time, because judo, you need partners. And if you have a strong rivalry in your own club or center, at the time you don't like it, but it makes you better. And I was, in a sense, very lucky. I had the right people at the right times around me, and good coaches. For example, with 16 I had a big injury, elbow, a titanium screw in my elbow, and the coach at the time, he held me back because I wanted to compete and go back, and said, no, half a year, you're out. And I'm very grateful for that.
And I mean, obviously, when it all changed over, how did that affect you? Was that the end? Did you think, well, this is going to be the end of my judo career. How did you adapt to the new system?
Well, I moved 90 to Bavaria, to Amsberg, and yes, it was not what I was used to. It was not so structured, was not such a strong group. I had to make my own arrangements, more or less, and had more freedom. But I think I was not stupid enough. I knew I have to do my homework. You have to be physically fit in order to compete or to train. And for me, Japan, I think any judo player will confirm that. That is the place to go for training because they have such a depth of good players. And yeah, I train to be fit to train here in Japan, not to go to Japan to get fit. You have to be fit there before to go.
Were you surprised how unstructured it was? I mean, I have people sometimes and they'll say to me, I can't believe, that you did it beside, despite the system, and because I didn't really have the same kind of system as yourself, but we were still determined. I mean, we are athletes, and I said to you, didn't I? I said that no matter what system, I still think you would have been world champion.
Difficult to say looking back, but I think yes. It was in former times, and now you have to have some sort of special mentality to go through the hard training, and you have to like it somehow, and that is, I think, the key for many champions.
And tell us just a little bit about your life. So, since you've finished, I mean, you came to the end of a very incredibly successful career, and I know that they brought you back, didn't they, to do the Olympic Games, and was it the Olympic Games or another World Championships, but they got you to come back down a weight?
Yes, I decided 1994 to move categories from 65 to 71 because I had to make a lot of weight. At the end it was 7 kilos, it was a lot, and I thought, well, I'm not going to make it, but I got the offer from the national coach, Dietmar, thank you for that, to compete again, once again. 24 years ago here, 95 was World Championships in Tokyo, and yes, I made all this effort, and you never know how it is if you cut the weight. Can you make it? Are you fit? How your body reacts, and luckily it went very well. Became world champion, and it was the first time or only time where I was really emotional. And I have to be honest, when I see now this coverage from all these fantastic fights and tournaments, it always gets me when they have this close-up in the face of the players straight after the fights. It gets to me. It's really, really, really great to see the emotions.
Tell me what makes that one so special. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is what was the best moment of your career? Which was the best win?
Well, Olympic champion, of course. This is sort of the big one anyway. But the year before, 95 in Makuhari here in Japan, in the homeland of judo, to win, that was extra special. And I had some tears in my eyes a little bit because it comes together, and you see that here. The great champions, they have a hard fight, sometimes goal and score, and then it comes all out. You think of injuries, you think of the hard way to come back, and it's just pure joy.
Would you change anything if you think back to your career and to your life, the way it went, the fact, I know that, the thing that you always say to me is that it was good for me, when we were in East Germany, it was a good time for you. It was certainly from your competitive side and your sports side. Would you change anything?
No, not at all. I think judo, I think you do it because you love it. Money is not the motivation. You start with something because you love it, and you have to have a passion. Without that, it's impossible to get to this level. Yes, of course, you'd never say no if you get some sponsors or something, but that comes after.
And what is in store now for Udo Quellmaz? I mean, your life now is in a different direction. I mean, let me just ask this question, because I'm interested in this from every athlete. When you were finishing your career, did you know the exact time that you were going to finish? Did you know it was the end?
I knew when I became Olympic champion, I was 29 at the time in Atlanta. I I knew it's very difficult to top to become another time Olympic or world champion. That was actually the time I thought it's going to be difficult to match.
Well, we're just looking at some coverage, and Taitoshi just about to go across, I think.
Yes, good old times. I can't imagine it's already 24 years ago, or 23 years. Yeah.
23 years ago, but still great memories. And we, like you said, we've had this fantastic life, haven't we? Where we're privileged. We are here now in the heart of where judo began. The Olympic Games was here in '64. It's going to be back here again next year, just 12 months away. And where would you do you think that judo development has gone in the right way? Where do you see it going?
Well, if I compare it with the old days, at my time, it is amazing how it developed, like media coverage. The presentation of events, it is incredible if you compare with former times. I think, and yes, participation. I don't know any sport who has 150 countries competing, 900 in the World Championships. Is incredible.
What about from a technical basis? From a technical point of view, do you think the rules lend themselves to really good Ippon judo?
Well, of course, you get always different opinions, and sometimes they say, wow, too many Chidos, too many penalties. I have now the statistics from this event up to day 6. Nearly 80% of fights were finished with positive scores. A lot of amazing techniques you've seen here, and top players are able to adapt.
I think that's always the way, isn't it? I think top people will always, no matter what rules you give them, they will always adapt. Udo, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you. I've been trying to get you here for a little while, and I know that, but thank you very much, not only for being a great champion, but for being a great man and a great friend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.